Here's another question. I just want to hide and I don't want to go out. I just want to hide and I don't want to go out. What to do? It's people, isn't it? People disturb us. Why do they disturb us? Because really the truth is we disturb ourselves and who we think people are and what we think people think. That's actually coming out of us. But nevertheless, life seems easier to deal with if there aren't people in it sometimes. But the fact of the matter is that human beings are a gregarious species. We're not supposed to be alone. We're not supposed to be solitary. That there's something very important that happens when we interact with each other. And one of the strange things that we find out is that the default feeling between human beings is actually love. Is actually love. If you took everything away, if you took the part you're playing in the movie and took that away from the person you're with, what would be left would be life. And when two existences are in the same field of energy, there's love. The default feeling between human beings is love. This is a great mystery and something to explore. So we don't want to engage, we don't want to be seen. And why don't we want to be seen? We don't want to be seen because we're still processing stuff. We're still figuring out stuff. And we think that we wouldn't feel secure or confident if we were to engage with others at this stage. And maybe there's some truth in that, and maybe not. Because sometimes people see in us what we can't see in ourselves. Sometimes people see the love in us that we don't see in ourselves. And this idea that we're not good enough, because that's what it really comes down to, isn't it? There's something wrong with me. I don't like people, or I don't like being out, or I don't like being with people. And the idea that there's something wrong with us, where does that come from? That comes from a lifetime or years of listening to our internal dialogue, telling us who we are and what life is. And we think that the thoughts that we have about ourselves and about life, we think that they are a reflection of reality. And they're not a reflection of reality. They're simply born out of who we're being that we are in any one moment. So if who we're being that we are is that we're not good enough and feel wounded or broken or something, then we have thoughts that arise out of that beingness that support it. And that beingness is just what's going on, the mood we're in right now. It's not actually a reflection of reality. But because we think we are the thinker, we believe everything we think. And we create meanings and we characterize ourselves. And then we mistakenly think that the characterization we've made is actually who we are. It's not, it's a characterization. And of course, in a characterization, you accentuate, if you see some of these cartoon characterizations, you accentuate some qualities and diminish others to get a funny picture. And that's what it is. Our characterizations create a funny picture, but not funny, ha-ha. Funny, miserable. So we have to realize that we're not our characterizations. Who we think we are, that's not who we are. And sometimes it can get to a point where we even hate ourselves, that we followed the internal chatter, we've believed it to such a degree when it's told us how, awful we are and how we lack what everybody else seems to have, that it turns into hate, and we hate ourselves and we loathe ourselves. And this is a sad situation to be in, because if we just looked a little bit deeper, we'd see something so beautiful. Because at the core of everybody is love. At the core of everybody is something beautiful. Something that this world can't touch. Something that this world can't stain. An innocence, a beauty, a joy, a light that's not part of this world, that's the very core of our being. Now, another reason we don't want to go out can be because we think we look funny. I've put on a lot of weight recently, so now I'm a great big fatty. And I can relate to people who don't go out because they don't feel happy with themselves. Or we might think we're ugly, we got a fat face, or, our eyes are too close together, or, there's something, we just don't look right. And best not feel the judgment of people. And it's understandable. We can understand that. But the cost of not encountering others, of staying inside, of hiding, the cost is great, because it just makes those feelings stronger. And we become even more isolated. We are not our bodies. That's what we're wearing. And there's a beauty that shines out of you no matter what you look like. You go on Instagram and you've got, they'll tell you, your eyes have got to be this far apart, and, your nose has got to be this long, and your forehead's got to be this, this broad, in order to look good, in order to be acceptable. But it's not true. You have your unique beauty. There's only one of you. You're not one of many. You're one of one. Unique, never before. And no one else now, and never again will there be one such as you are now in this configuration. So you have to fight. You have to fight that inner chatter telling you all this nonsense, and recognize that the words it tells you is a product of the mood rather than a reflection of reality. That deep within you, beyond the internal dialogue, there's something very beautiful. And anybody who met that would love it. Because the truth about you is this: to know you is to love you. To know yourself truly is to love yourself. And anybody who knew you, who knows you to that level, they'll love you. To know yourself is to love you. So this is a phase. It wasn't always in place, this need to hide. It peaks, and then you come down the other side of it and enter back into the world of people and reflections and mirrors. And you realize that, you know what, we're all pretty much the same. We've all got stuff to deal with. We've all got bits of unresolved past. We've all got weird ideas about ourselves and others. But the default feeling between us is love.